Have you ever noticed that the harder you try to get something to work, the harder it gets, or even the worse it gets? I used to think that if I just tried harder, loved harder, planned better, that things would just eventually fall into place. But sometimes it's not about effort, it is about energy. And when something is out of alignment, all of the forcing in the world is not going to make it flow. Hey y'all, welcome to Life with Toya. If you didn't know, it's your girl Toya. If it's your first time here, and if not, let's dive right into this. This is my space where we talk about self-growth, soft living, and how to elevate our everyday life. Especially today, we're going to be talking about elevating our everyday life through peace and not pressure. Today's topic is a big one. If you hadn't caught the title, how to stop forcing things and finally letting go. I feel like that was a big lesson that I had to learn, and I'm here to tell you guys all about it and how I am working my way through it. And hopefully this information can help you. So go ahead and grab your glass. You guys know how I do. Today we are drinking an iced coffee. It is so beautiful. I made some coffee and I mixed it with 7 Brews white chocolate mocha. It was a little bit too sweet for me, so I mixed it with some coffee that I brewed myself and topped it with a little cold foam, and it is delicious. So let's dive into this topic. One of the things that I have learned in this life is that you cannot force anyone to show up for you. You can only control you and what you do and how you respond and how you react and how you carry yourself. You can't control other people's actions, their thoughts, or their perceptions of you. And let me tell you guys a little bit about how I learned this lesson. There was a time, or even several times, where I tried to make something work with someone. They were not consistent, and they weren't even willing to meet me halfway. I was showing up, over explaining, trying to prove my value until I at least felt seen. And in most of those past cases, I still left the situation feeling unseen. Until one day it hit me. I wasn't waiting on God. I wasn't waiting on life circumstances to line up. I was trying to force things to happen. Ooh, I don't want to cry. I was trying to make consistency out of confusion. And I don't know why talking about this is kind of stirring up some emotions in me, but I am not the one to get on Beyonce's internet and cry. I will pause the camera, get myself together, and then come back. But let's keep trucking. I had to get to the point and realize that me letting go of this situation or this person does not mean that I don't care. And I have no control over them feeling that way. Basically, all it meant was that I stopped carrying the weight of whatever the situation was on my shoulders. I had to realize that everything is not mine to fix. Whenever you find yourself in a situation where you feel as though you care more than the other person, it's best to step back to protect your peace, because you will drive yourself up the wall if you don't. This was the moment where I realized that peace is not something that you find. It is a reward that comes to you once you stop fighting what's already over. Forcing things also blocks alignment. And it wasn't me just doing this in love. I also found that I was doing this in business as well, with jobs that were no longer in alignment, me trying to stay here longer than I lasted at my last job. When I started taking on clients that did not align with me and I was trying to continue to force it because money, you find yourself saying yes to things that don't align, doesn't feel right, causes resentments, all because you don't want to lose momentum. You want to prove your loyalty, etc. I would find myself over delivering, over promising, over compensating. And even with my client situation, I found myself undercharging for the value of the work that I was delivering, and it was not appreciated. You ignore red flags, or you see the red flags and you justify them. You make excuses because you think walking away means that you're starting over, you're giving up. And it doesn't necessarily mean that. When I finally realized that a client or a job is no longer for me, I realized that peace isn't found in control, but rather it's found in clarity. I realized in life experiences, the moment that I stop forcing things, space opens up for better. I find myself with better, more aligned opportunities. Forcing things does not keep you secure. It only keeps you stuck. These are just 2 examples of scenarios that I have lived my way through. and I'm pretty sure that you could relate to some. This actually showed me that forcing comes from fear of loss, fear of failure, fear of being forgotten, fear of success, whatever that fear is. So if you look at why you're trying to control something, it can literally point you into the direction of what is it that you are afraid of. And this will in turn show you a little bit more about yourself. But I'm here to tell you that flow comes from faith. This is the belief that what is meant for you does not require pressure. It does not require control. So once you understand that, releasing does not mean giving up. Being the oldest of three and having a child fresh out of high school put me in a situation where I had no choice but to be in control. And so I found that it became a way of life for me. And I would be very frustrated if I was met with resistance in any way. And now I'm trying to get into the point in my life where I'm not worried about control. Rather, I would have peace, because peace feels so much better especially when you understand that you can't control what you think you are controlling. Okay. So with that came my new mantra, peace over control, because control may feel good in the moment, but peace lasts so much longer. So how do you practice letting go when your initial instinct is to hold on tighter? For me, I'd say it started small, noticing my own energy, paying more attention to myself, how I felt, and learning when to stop pushing, responding to other people, paying attention to their actions. Because in some situations, people will tell you what you want to hear, and they're like, okay, yeah, girl. And then they do nothing about it, and then you're stuck being mad. Like, I can only help you so far. And helping other people does not mean taking on the responsibility of whatever outcome they have. So if people decide to make certain choices that you don't agree with, you have to be okay with letting go and allowing them to handle the consequences that come with said situations, just generically speaking. Because in the same token, whatever consequences or whatever decisions I make, I have to be responsible for my own consequences. There's no one that's coming to save me from my consequences. So I can't do that for other people. And sometimes it's hard to do that for immediate family, right? Letting go is not an event. It's not a race. It is actually a marathon. This is something that you're going to have to do over and over and over again. It's not a one and done. It is a daily practice, and I have 3 tips to show you how to put it in practice. First, I also told you guys I check my energy, so I'm going to tell you, check your energy. Ask yourself, is this draining me or is it developing me? And if it's draining you, feel free to pull back to protect your peace. If I am consistently overthinking, compromising my peace, I need to understand I can't grow in that situation. That is how I learned that I am being met with resistance. Number 2, pause before pushing. Pay attention to what's going on and realize, does this situation need me to push or does it need me to pause and just let the chips fall? You cannot go through carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, because other people are sleeping fine at night while you're up wondering, what about this? What about that? What about this? And they're just having the best vacations, having the best alone time with their relationships, and you're sacrificing your relationships for the betterment of their project, and they don't even care. Not to the level that you care. You can find yourself caring for other people's projects, their businesses, their plans, more than they actually do. And when you overstep that, you are stepping into control, and that is a sign that you need to let it go. So when things stop flowing, I no longer ask, how can I make this happen? I ask, is this even meant to happen? Because everything that you want to happen is not meant to happen. That question alone has saved me so much unnecessary stress. And the older we get, our body can't handle stress the way it used to when we were in our early teens. I'm sorry, not early teens, late teens, early 20s, right? We're not taking on everybody else's stress, because stress comes with health problems and your health comes first. Because if you're not here because of stress, whatever it is you were stressing about, it really won't matter that much more, will it? And last but not least, replace control with trust. This one sounds really, really hard because control usually comes from a place of lack of trust, right? So I remind myself that I can't force timing, but I can trust divine timing. What's meant for me will meet me halfway. I won't have to do all of the work by myself. Things will fall into place. It's not going to be as stressful, but not as stressful, but it's not going to have a whole lot of unnecessary stress aligned or tied to it. And peace is the proof that you need to know that it is aligned. So letting go does not mean that you are giving up. It just simply means that you are making room. You're choosing peace over pressure, flow over force, and alignment over attachments. Because when you stop forcing things, the things that are meant for you will finally find you. I've learned to let go quicker, saves me a lot more stress, saves me a lot more time. I think the last relationship situation, it lasted 73 days. The one right after that didn't even last a full 24 hours. I pay attention now. I watch the signs. And if it's not working, I'm going to slide you right on out of the way. And I'm going to make room for what is going to find its way to me. It's going to meet me halfway. It's going to be a compromise. It's not going to be me giving all of myself up to get you to come to me. We're not doing that anymore. We're letting go. If this message spoke to you in any way, shape, fashion, or form, go ahead and hit that like button to let the algorithm know that this is great content. Subscribe and tap that notification bell so that you will be notified the next time I drop a video. And the next video is going to be 10 things that I am letting go of this fall. And some of them may resonate with you, and some of them you may realize, I need to be letting go of that too. So you do not want to miss out on that content. So if you're ready to choose peace over control, make sure you tune in to that next video. Peace does not live where control does, and I am finally okay with that. And until next time, enjoy life with Toya.